What was the name of this Italian organization?
The Italian Catholic Federation, I believe.
So it sounds like there were a lot of Italians.
Yeah, because they were ranchers. They had a lot of land, all those Italians. There weren't that many, but the ones that were there, you know, they, yeah.
Have a
and they
good
were
time
all-
together. I remember them mostly when I was a teenager. I remember doing the Mexican hat dance and all those fun things as a little girl, and I would get to dance with my dad. And those were really special times.
Did they play Italian music?
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
It was really a very special dance. And actually, that's where I first got to know my husband.
Oh,
There
really?
was more Americans than there were Italians at the dinners.
Oh, nice. So I know there were other Italian families in Niles, the Di Giulios.
Oh, yes, they had the car dealership.
Did they go to those?
Yes.
Yeah, and Quartarolis,
And the Corduroys.
Cordaroli,
Fazio.
Fazios from
And-
Niles also.
Right,
Yeah,
and
they
the
were all-
Rugani.
Rogani. Where did you go? Where did she go to college, Janet?
They both went to Holy Names. They
College in
graduated
Oakland.
from Holy Names in
Oh,
Oakland.
so Janet married.
Harry Avila.
Harry Avila. His mother used to come here and help.
I remember.
May,
May.
what a
Yeah,
beautiful
May
lady.
Avila.
Yeah,
Okay, and then Harry and Janet then were.
they had 3 children.
They had 3 children. And what were their names?
Anthony, Timothy, and Gina.
Okay, and so those are your grandchildren.
And I have 4 great-grandchildren. Okay, Anthony has Zachary and Katrina. Timothy has Luca, Luca, and Matteo. And Gina is not married.
Janet and Harry married. Did they live in Niles?
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, where did they live?
They lived in the Niles, what did they call it? Hacienda Gardens.
Right.
Do you know the address?
Yes, 974 Vanda Way. It's right around the corner from where I live.
Oh, okay, 974
Vanda, V-A-N-D-A.
Vanda Way. And when did they marry?
Oh dear, let me think.
4464. 1964.
1960.
That's the one date I remember because it was all fours.
Okay, 4464. Okay, let's go on to
When she
your
got,
husband and when you met him.
They had the flower shop, so I knew of him, but I got to know him a little bit at one of the Italian dinners that they came to, and at the dance part. But then he and my cousin Larry, who was my age, they went out into the car to listen to a ball game. And but we didn't start dating. My husband and I didn't actually start dating until he came out of the Navy. And I had just graduated college, and I worked. My brother-in-law, Harry Avila, had a pharmacy in Niles, which I worked at,
next door to the,
and it was right next door to, or right near the flower shop. And so he came in, and then we started dating.
So, so Harry, what was the name of the business that Harry had?
Niles Rexall.
Yes,
Niles Rexall
pharmacy.
Pharmacy. And you started working there
When I was
what year?
15.
Oh,
Yes.
what did you do then?
When I was 15, I would just go in and clean off the pharmacy shelves in the back and get all the pill bottles, move them and put them back because they needed to be cleaned, and that was my first job. And then as I was old enough to really work there, then I was a sales girl, and I would, help do anything in the store.
Mm-hmm. And so then so your husband's name again?
Allen, A-L-L-E-N, Lopez, L-O-P-E-Z.
All right. So you met and married Allen what year?
We got married in 1972.
Oh,
And you have a daughter.
Yes, and we have a daughter, Allison, who was born in 1976, bicentennial baby, and she is now living in Cupertino,
okay.
and she's not married.
Okay. So let's get back to when you were, I guess after college you you moved back home and then,
Oh, I never left home, I commuted.
okay. Oh, okay. Oh, that was good.
Yes, I commuted.
Oh, yeah, they never went to boarding school.
Yeah, my father wouldn't let us board. We had to live at home and commute. So I commuted to both Bishop O'Dowd and Holy Names
But
College.
by that time, Janet could drive, so she used to drop her off.
My junior year, but then my senior year, my sister had already graduated from college, so then I started driving.
Oh, that was easier than,
Yes,
than the other way.
because I played sports. I was a volleyball player, so.
So what about in growing up, you and your sister, were there things to do for recreation or?
They
Tell
both.
me something about downtown Niles or Fremont where you grew up and how you
What
occupied yourself.
What I remember about downtown Niles is the new city market, because that was the closest grocery store, and Scott's Shoes. I loved going into Scott's Shoes because you had that leather smell and all that new leather, and my mom would have to get my shoes resold there because I went through shoes. I was a very active child. And so she'd have to get them. So we'd get to go there often. Then I remember Ellsworth Insurance, and Sletton's had a lovely clothes, and the Five and Dime. What was that called? The Five and Dime?
Oh, yeah, Cozy's.
Cozy's Variety. And I would go in there and get some special candies. If I was a good girl, Mother would let me go get some candy. For a nickel, you could get a whole bag full of candy.
Yeah,
Long time ago. The good old days.
yeah.
How about the movie house? Did you go to the
Oh, yeah.
theater there?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we used to go there. Now the family owns it. There's a museum in there.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
my in-laws own that.
Yeah.
On the property there?
Yes, they owned it before it burnt down, and then the original show house burnt down. I don't remember the year. Then there was no show house. Right now, there's an empty lot there.
You became a teacher.
I became a teacher. That was when I graduated college, it was the first year to get a teacher certificate. You had to do a 5th year. So I did that and became a teacher at Parkmont School in the Centerville part of Fremont.
Okay.
I taught there for 7 years, grades 1, 2, and 3. And then I had my daughter and took a few years off, and then she went to Holy Spirit by then, not Ghost anymore.
What year was your daughter born?
76.
76, got it.
And then she started at Holy Spirit, so then I started teaching there and became the first computer teacher teaching on Apple IIe's.
Oh, yes.
Had 10 Apple IIe's.
Grades
And grades 1 through 8.
So is that where you retired from?
No, then then my daughter went to high school at Moreau, so it wasn't going to work out. So I switched to All Saints in Hayward. I became the computer teacher at All Saints in Hayward.
Oh, right.
I was there for 9 years.
And then you retired.
And then I retired from teaching, but I still consult there every once in a while because I created some programs for the office that I maintain.
Wonderful. And your sister was also a teacher, you said?
She was a teacher. My sister was a dynamic individual. We were total opposites. She was a total extrovert. I'm a total introvert. And she did so much for this community. It was incredible. She did a lot for Washington Hospital. Had the
Yeah, the hospital ball.
She and Fran Stone. I guess they were part of the service league. They must have been president, or they had offices like president or vice president. I'm not sure what offices they held. Plus, she worked in the gift shop, and she was a pink lady at that point. And anyway, my sister did so much volunteer work for the community, and she held, I think, the first 4 or 5 Washington Hospital balls in San Francisco at that point, and they were spectacular, absolutely beautiful at the
We have
Mark Hopkins.
The other one, in October, we still have them.
But now they're here in Fremont in a tent near the hospital. But anyway, she's the one who started those things.
And then she was the development director for the Sisters of the Holy Family.
Oh, wow.
When she died, that's what she was
Yes.
doing.
The development director, what did that entail?
They
Fundraisers.
they raised the
Fundraisers, which is
funds,
really-
yes.
The first one we had, there was 600 people, and I made cannelloni.
Oh, you made cannelloni?
Yeah, it was a big fundraiser,
Made
beautiful,
150,000.
beautiful afternoon event on the grounds of the Sisters.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Of the Sisters, it was gorgeous.
Wonderful. So I understand you were very active in the service league for
Yeah. Yeah.
the Pink Ladies.
Well, yes. Also, my husband was the first board member to die, and he elected to die at home. We had no hospice. We had to get him from Hayward. The following year, we had a golf tournament at Castlewood, and this is the 32nd year that we've had it.
Yes,
In his memory.
Harry and Janet
Yeah.
were instrumental in getting
Yeah.
that golf, the first ones off the ground, and helped make them so successful.
And at Washington Hospital on the 4th floor, we have a hospice room in his memory, and it's big enough so that the parents of the patient can spend the night, and they're going to open up another one next door.
And Mom was on the first Pink Lady at the Cherry Budget Shop. What was that part about?
Oh yeah, when
Yeah, tell me about
three
the
years
starting of this.
3 years before the hospital opened, that was in 1955. They gave us this old library in Irvington section, and we had to rummage. I mean, everything used from rusty sieves. And in 3 years, we made $13,000 when the hospital opened.
So what happened in the Irvington Library? What
We
did you
They
do?
made
rummage store.
They had a Cherry Budget Shop, it was
Yeah.
called.
Oh, so
That's what that.
what happened? You're saying, so when they were planning to build the hospital and they had formed the hospital board,
Yeah,
they
And-
also formed a service league
yeah,
then?
that's what we did.
Can you tell me about the
Yeah,
forming of that league?
we had the Waltons. He was a pharmacist, and she was a nurse. And at her home, there was 8 of us. And
Beth Grimmer
Beth Grimmer and Josie Walton and Pauline Alameda. There was 8 of us.
and what was the one
Who?
the one that's still?
No, she wasn't there that day.
Oh, she wasn't.
No,
there.
she wasn't one of us.
I'm sorry.
And so,
There were 8 of you that met?
yeah, at
to
the home of,
support?
to start this, and we had Alan Hyman. He was a lawyer, and he did the bylaws for us.
And what
and
was
they
the
own-
name of the organization? What did you call yourself?
They called the Pink Ladies.
That was the name?
Hmm.
Okay. So you formed
Yeah,
the
the
Pink
service
Ladies,
league.
who
Yeah,
were a service league to support the hospital.
yes.
And what were some of the first things that you
Fundraisers. We
did?
had fashion shows. We had lunches. We had lots in those days. Of course, we were young.
So what did you, what was this about the Cherry Budget Shop? What was
Yeah.
it? Cherry?
Cheery.
Cherry.
Okay.
I always called it. I didn't know that until recently. I always called it the Cherry Budget, but it was Cheery.
And we had this old building, and then one of the mayors had a house which Peralta Boulevard went through now, but we had it there, and it was 2 stories,
So where was this? And who?
right on Fremont Boulevard.
On Fremont Boulevard?
Yeah,
What was
where
the cross street?
Peralta cuts through
Yes.
to Fremont Boulevard. There was a house there, 2 stories. And that's where we had the second Cherry Budget Shop, because we got out of that one. I'm sure.
So who was the mayor? Who
I was
had
trying to-
owned
oh,
the
dear, Jack-
property?
What the heck?
Jack Stevenson?
Pari?
No,
Stevenson?
yeah.
Okay, it was the former home of Jack's, or
It was,
a home
he owned the property.
Okay.
And upstairs with the people that would mark the things. A lot of stores gave us things they couldn't sell, dresses, and we had a lot of junk. And we had our regular customers, and we would sell downstairs. So that's what we did.
Okay, and then.
And then when the
So what did you do in the, did
So-
you work in it?
Yeah, I used to sell.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we were sales ladies. There was always two of us downstairs and two or three upstairs marking
Oh,
and washing and ironing things.
so, you had this budget shop for service leave, and then what happened after the hospital opened?
Well, I don't know because see, we didn't work there anymore. And if they had it on the grounds, I don't remember that.
You mean what happened to the Cherry Budget Shop?
Yeah.
And what, yeah,
We did have it where there's a pharmacy in that building now on Fremont Boulevard, Gary Bosrai.
Oh, Howlers.
We had there when the street went through, we had it there. But the hospital wasn't open yet then.
okay.
Yeah.
So maybe after the hospital opened, they started working in the hospital.
Yeah,
They
so-
started working at the desk,
Yeah.
volunteering at the desk, and at the gift shop,
Yeah.
which is what I did as a Blue Miss. When I was in high school, I needed my service hours, so that's how I chose to use my service hours.
So you became a Blue Miss.
I became a Blue Miss.
So you sort of handed the gavel or the.
And then my grandson Timothy, he became a junior. Then they're
Then
called.
they let guys,
Yeah.
the
When the men
males
came,
join.
then no more pink.
Yeah, it wasn't a pink lady anymore.
No, now they're volunteers and they're an ugly burgundy color. The pink is beautiful. Whenever they have anything at the hospital, they want me to wear mine is a lab coat. And they go, "Where did you get that?" I said, "This is a relic."
So you still volunteer?
Yeah, I do the work at home now.
Calligraphy
I do
mostly.
calligraphy for the juniors that volunteer there because they can get scholarships. They get a certificate from 100 to 600 hours, and every month I do that for them.
Okay, so in all of those years, did you ever have a break from being maybe when your children were small, or did you always volunteer?
We volunteered once a month,
Okay, and was that,
4 hours.
so was that working then in the hospital?
Yeah, in the
Oh,
lobby.
okay. So after the hospital opened, I guess everything
Yeah,
focused at the hospital,
Right.
and so you worked in different
Right.
capacities.
yeah,
Well, you have been there many, many, many years.
yeah.
Over 50 years.
I have a lot of
obviously.
doctors they call me Mama because when my oldest daughter was in the hospital for 2 months, and I was there every morning from 5 in the morning till 5 at night, every one of those specialists, it was just as tough for them to watch a mother watch a child die as it was for them to lose a patient. So they also play in the golf tournament. So I get hugs and kisses from all of them. They're all my sons.
That's great.
Yeah.
Boy, your family has really had quite an influence on a lot of people and organizations. Were there other organizations?
My
that
husband
you
belonged to
were-
the Niles Rotary, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Niles Rotary.
I think.
And Al Lopez did as well.
Yeah.
And now we have to talk a little bit about the Lopez.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can you tell me about your husband's family when they first came to the Niles area?
They opened the shop in, I think, just before Allen was born. They got married in 41, I believe.
Who are you speaking of? Their names, please.
Vicky Lopez, Victoria Lopez, and Al Lopez. Anselmo is his real name, but everyone called him Al. And they started the Niles Flower Shop. And it was first over in what is now Time for Tea, in part of that building. And then Al had the building that they're in built. He built a series of shops.
The building that they're in, where are they located?
I mean, they were in, excuse me.
Uh-huh.
It's, oh dear, 373